What's up, my Wizards dev? SBMTG down there, you know by now, YouTube, we like Magic, all that stuff. I have got, finally, some Amonkhet spoilers for you. I keep waiting on more spoilers and not doing this video, but I've decided I should probably do this video because there's a lot of really interesting stuff that's come out in the last 3 days since I've done a spoiler vid. Since this morning, we've only seen one cycle of cards, but it's a fairly important cycle of cards, and those, of course, you've probably seen them by now, are these cycling dual lands. Finally, people have been asking for these for years, literally years, and they finally decided that now would be a good time to give them to us. And they're not just cycling lands that produce both colors, they also have land types like forest, plains, swamp, mountain, island, swamp, all that. And that's really important, not only in modern, because fetch lands, obviously, but even in standard, where the shadow lands need basic lands, or at least basic land types to come into the battlefield untapped. So these will be important in standard and possibly modern. I mean, you'll probably still just fetch up your shocks, but maybe not. I think most modern decks will probably incorporate 1, 2, or 3 of these. It all depends. Same thing in standard. I don't think we'll go crazy with these because we already have good fixing. These will obviously go pretty well with Archfiend of Ifnir in standard. We were all really hoping after we saw cycling was back that we'd get cycling lands, and a lot of people called cycling dual lands, so good on you if you called that. Super happy that these are in the format. And I like, in a way, that don't mark my words here, but it looks as though these won't be $10 dual lands. These will probably be $1, 2, maybe, They'll pre-order for more than that, but once things cool off, I can't really see these things being very expensive. And they're fairly important, and it's nice to at least appear as though we have some dual lands that won't cost an arm and a leg. And they do stuff outside of just, Archfiend of Ifnir in standard. Obviously they help delirium strategies, and I feel like that's fairly important to at least mention too. So I'm pretty excited about these, and they're all fairly gorgeous too. Scattered Groves looks really nice, Fetid Pools looks awesome, and I like Sheltered Thicket because that looks like that thing from Final Fantasy 15. Back me up on this. That is that thing from FF15. Hi, it's me again. It's my face. I know you got used to looking at cards there for a second. But anyway, it's me again. Let's talk about some more stuff, because that wasn't the only thing that Wizards has spoiled in the last 3 days. And in fact, there's something that's been getting a lot of talk, and I've got, obviously, a few things to say about it too. This green card that you're looking at right now is a Serpopard. This is Prowling Serpopard right here, and it's 3 mana. We'll get to the name in a second. It's 3 mana. That's 1 and 2 green for a 4/3 cat snake. What a sweet creature type that is. Prowling Serpopard can't be countered, and creature spells you control also cannot be countered. Alright, so it's a Serpopard, which I'm going to love saying. Everyone's like, geez, Wizards, what a ridiculous name. You're making us say this stuff for the next 2 years. I get it. But don't blame Wizards. A Serpopard is an actual thing from Egyptian mythology. So it's ridiculous sounding, but it's at least they pulled it from an existing thing, so don't blame them too much. And Serpopard is kind of cool, especially it's a cat snake. The thing, you got to talk about the flavor of the thing. You got to. It's cool to me. I like cats. I like snakes thrown together. It's awesome. And obviously, a lot of people are hyping this a lot, but I think that in standard at least, this is just a sideboard card and probably nothing else. A 2 or 3 up sideboard card. I don't know that this goes straight into the main deck. And people are saying this maybe signals some good counter magic coming. I don't know. I don't know about that. Not every card is a signal for other stuff. Some cards are. This very well may be. But we're not totally sure right now, honestly. I just think this is a card that, should probably exist. And so Wizards printed it. It's going to be decent in commander lists, probably. Everyone. There's always at least one jerk playing counter spells in a commander game. So there's that. It'll maybe be important in modern sideboards. I don't know. Control isn't super huge right now, so I don't know about modern either. I think standard sideboards on occasion, and that's probably it. Even though it's obviously pushed 3 mana for a 4-power guy is fine. That's not bad. Of course, in modern he's boltable, so you got to worry about that. In standard he's harness lightningable and grasp of darknessable, but you can't fatal push him unless you revolt it. So that's at least something. I think he's a little bit above curve. That's cool, He's probably at least okay against cat combo, which is funny. He's cat too. But he's probably at least sort of decent against cat combo if you're on the play, at least, because I don't know. They can't counter the thing that you do about cat combo as long as it's a creature. You could Spell Queller, I guess, in a Bant list, and they can't counter your Spell Queller. If you Spell Queller their Saheeli or Spell Queller their Guardian or something. These are things that could happen, but I don't think that those interactions are important enough to make this card a real thing. And I know it's good. I mean, I know there's probably people in the comments like, the card is so good. Come on, man. Like, yeah, I'm excited about it. I think it's a fine card. But I don't think it's, like, worth freaking out over. I think the flavor's really cool. And I think it's probably a sideboard gem for Standard for a while at least, depending on what Control does. But I don't think that it's, like, the incredible chase rare card that some people believe it is. Well, since cycling is back, we got to see at least one, at least halfway decent reprint that has cycling. And hopefully there'll be some more reprints with cycling, but I'll talk about that too in a second. But anyway, this here's Renewed Faith right here. You might remember it from Onslaught Block. It's 3 mana, but it's 2 generic and a white for an instant. You gain 6 life, or you can cycle it for 1 and a white, and when you cycle it, you gain 2 life. Well, Renewed Faith is back, and it's probably bad this time. You know, like, earlier it needed Lightning Rift, and it needed Astral Slide to be good. Like, this was actually played in Standard back in the day, but it needed specific cards, and it won't have those. Like, Sam Stoddard, another thing he said in his article this morning, when he spoiled the cycling lands, which people are calling, by the way, bicycle lands, 2 colors, and cycle. I think that's the best name ever. But anyway... I forgot to point that out. But Sam also said in his article that we specifically will not be seeing Lightning Rift or Astral Slide in this set, which I think crushed the hopes and dreams of a lot of people. I, for one, would have really liked Astral Slide to come back. That would have been sweet, but apparently they won't give us the stuff. So maybe an Hour of Devastation. We'll see. But at least for now, not getting Astral Slide or Rift, which is also a good card. So that kind of sucks. It means Renewed Faith will probably not see play. Life gain is not great often, but if it does something else, it usually is. In this case, you get to draw a card. So for a control deck, you might think, you know, oh, they didn't do anything. I didn't get a chance to counter a spell. So at the end of their turn, I'll gain 2. I'll draw a card, get a little life back, you know, some card advantage. Yeah, it sounds great. And for all I know, you know, blue-white control might be a thing, and it might want a 1 or 2 of this card, but I highly doubt it. Like, I just think that, like, right now, Blessed Alliance is probably better, all things considered, and I just don't think without the really powerful cycling enablers in the format that this is going to have a chance. Speaking of reprints, we also saw this sweet Haven Mind Sensor reprint, which gets 2 cool new arts in this set. It gets a Masterpiece, and it gets this, or I guess I should say an Invocation. We'll talk about those in a second, because I haven't done that yet, but I won't waste too much time on those. Which kind of shows you how I feel about it. But anyway, Haven Mind Sensor is back and playable in Standard, and that's super sweet. It's great. Like, you know, we're not doing, like, a ton of library searching, although we haven't seen all of Amonkhet yet, so who knows how much library searching we're doing, you know? But this will at least be good against, like, Evolving Wilds. There's some stuff, you know. Whir of Invention, if that card gets popular. There are things that this could be decent against, but I just like that Mind Sensor's back. It has way cooler art. That's awesome, you know. It's still a flash flying creature, so it could show up in stuff, you know, blue-white control. Again, could be a thing, but Mind Sensor is just like the Serpopard, usually a sideboard card. So we'll have to see what we actually get in this set, but I'm just happy it's back. I'm just not really sure the practical application of it from what we know. Now, while Wizards was in the middle of spoiling all their masterpieces, they like randomly spoiled just a black common from the set. So let's take a look real quick at Miasma Mummy right here, M&M. He's 2 mana, that's 1 and a black for a Zombie Jackal, another Zombie Jackal, and he's a 2/2, and he's got, when Miasma Mummy enters the battlefield, each player discards a card. And did I mention the art is insane? It's just a zombie mummy, like, basically vomiting black smoke or something. Like, I don't know what's happening here in this artwork, but it's pretty crazy. My thing is that, like, Rotting Rats didn't see a bunch of play, you know, and, like, we have had cards like this in Magic's history that have traditionally seen some play, and in this format we have Madness, we might have Reanimation Strategies for all we know, we have Delirium, so something like this looks tempting, but at the end of the day I just think there's better stuff to enable probably all of those strategies. But I guess, like, for 2 mana you get an on-curve blocker that also lets you dump something in your yard and gets a card out of their hand, so, like, there's good stuff about it, and it's probably really good in sealed, but I'm just, you know, it's probably just going to be a random card at the end of the day. I just, you know, Pale Rider of Trostad looked like it might be decent, and nothing happened there, but it didn't make our opponent discard. This sacrifices a point of PT, and also makes our opponent discard, so it's like Ravenous Rats is back, and it enables stuff in our graveyard. So for all I know, this could actually see some play, but right now, I'm just going to give it like a C, and assume that it's not going to see any play. Jokes. Before I get to the masterpieces, which again, I'm just going to touch on for a second because everybody else has talked about them already. You know what they look like. But anyway, I might as well talk about this guy very quickly. Really won't take long. This is Unwavering Initiate right here. He's 3 mana. That's 2 generic and a white for a 3/2 human warrior with Vigilance and Embalm 5 for a white. Solid sealed card, maybe solid draft card as well. Just decent limited, but fairly boring. Outside of that, let's move on. Okay, so let's talk about the masterpieces real quick. We're calling them Invocations this time around, which is an admittedly cool name. I think that's actually awesome. And I like the direction. I like the direction that Wizards attempted. Let me say that. I think the idea that these look like hieroglyphics is cool, but they also do look like Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And the ones that do, like, that are colored, you know, like the red cards, the blue cards, the black cards, you know what I mean. I don't like what's going on with the border. I think that just looks ridiculous. Let me show you what I'm talking about in case you've been under a rock for the last few days and you somehow haven't seen these. Here's a few of them right here. Now, honestly, on nearly every single one of these, the artwork itself is incredible. Like, let me show you Days. Days is insane. This is some of the best artwork I've seen on a Magic card in a really long time. That is beautiful, and it is completely hamstrung by the ridiculous border around it. Like, yes, these do kind of look like Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and no one has seen these in person, or I guess some people have, but none of us have seen these in person, so maybe they look better. Maybe they do when you actually see them in person, I don't know. But the way the name looks, and again, I think it's a creative idea, but you can barely read what that says. Especially if you don't know the card. Like some of these, you go like, what is this? Oh, it's Maelstrom Pulse, because I know what that card is already. But like if you're a brand new player that's never seen Maelstrom Pulse, like you might not figure that out immediately, you know. And I don't like that the mana cost is the way it is. Like all the color's been drained out of the mana cost, you know. It's just... Again, the aesthetic is noble in its idea, but the execution is to me, and apparently everybody else, quite flawed. Quite flawed. But these are beautiful, and I like some of these cards. I really like the Counterspell love, you know, not just the card Counterspell, but also Days and a bunch of other stuff. Spell Pierce is here. So I like the support Counterspell's got. I like that Dark Ritual got a reprint. Like, there is stuff that I like, yes. But at the same time, these are not pretty. To put it bluntly, TLDR, they're not pretty. So, you know, good job on the stuff you ended up reprinting. Good job on commissioning the incredible artwork for them. But I kind of wish that, like, I would love to buy a print of Days. That would be fine. That would be awesome. I would hang it up right here and do videos. But the card is probably dumb looking. Just saying. I support Wizards when they make good decisions. This is not... So I'm tapped out for now, I guess. I just reloaded Mythic Spoiler on my phone, and there's nothing new yet. I've been waiting all day. Like, I woke up to these dual lands that cycle, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. What else is going to get spoiled today? Apparently nothing. So I'm going to be vigilant and keep refreshing this page, because that is spoiler season to me, and every other YouTuber you know is refreshing Mythic Spoiler over and over. So I'm going to be doing that all night, and if they put out more stuff, I will also put out more stuff. So sub if you're new to get those videos and all the rest of the spoilers and deck techs coming up. You can also like this video if you enjoyed this video. That helps me more than anything you could do, except for maybe follow me on Twitter. I'm SBMTG Dev. That is my Twitter name, and I'll see you guys later. I am Dev from SBMTG. That's why that is handle on Twitter, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, my wizard.